Good morning, weavers and YouTubers. So I'm starting a new project this morning. I started it a couple days ago, measuring warp, but I'm at the loom and this is my first video of it. So this project is going to be towels, and it's based on a pattern in the Strickler book. So some of you may not be familiar with the Strickler book. Mine has been beat to death because I've used it for a number of years. But this is what I call the Strickler book. It's a weaver's book of 8-shaft patterns from the Friends of Handwoven, edited by Carol Strickler. So, and you know, I've got a 12-shaft loom, but I'm doing an 8-shaft pattern. That's fine, no problem. I've done a lot of 4-shaft patterns. In fact, my previous video, the hot pads, was just a 4-shaft pattern. So I'm going to do pattern number 246, and I'll show that to you here. It's this one right here. And you know, when I look at this in the book, I've gone past this pattern many times, and I've always thought, that's a boring pattern. I'm just not interested in that. But I was looking on the Facebook group called Strickler in Color. As you can see, this book is all done in black and white. All the patterns are shown in black and white. So there's this group on Facebook that I belong to that shows examples of a number of these patterns done with colored yarn or colored thread. And I saw this pattern, this 246, this one, done in color by a couple different people. And I thought, wow, that's actually got some really neat potential. I'd like to try that now that I'm seeing what it looks like in color. I'm not sure if I can sneak a couple of the pictures out of that Facebook group and include them in this video or not. If I can, I will. Just to give you examples of what I saw and said, hey, that looks like a pretty neat idea. So anyways, that's what this project will be. It's 8-2 Cotylin from Maurice Broussard for the white that I'm using. And in the book they show black. Maybe it's not black, it's a dark color. She just says light and dark. And I'm using navy blue Bakken's Cotylin that's 22-2, but that's just the European numbering for 8-2 North American numbering. So it's really the same size thread. And I've measured out 7 yards. My intention here is to do 24 threads per inch in the reed, and as close as possible to that in picks per inch in the weaving. So right now I'm looking at about a 28-inch wide in the reed, and I'm hoping to weave about 34 inches long for these towels. And there'll be some shrinkage. I'm guessing probably about an inch or two of draw-in and probably an inch or so of shrinkage lengthwise when I take it off the tension. So let's aim you down, and I am just threading through the heddles now, and I'll show you a little bit of that, and then I'm going to stop the video and keep working. I'm about halfway through with the threading of heddles right now, and then I'll probably show you a little bit more of the setup and finally get into some weaving. Okay, weavers, before I show you the threading the heddles, I thought I'd take a moment and show you the pattern after I put it into the Tempo Weave software so I can get a better idea of it. I've added one more thing right over here on the far side. I put in the tie-up that would be needed if I wanted to do plain weave or tabby, and I put in 8 rows of tabby at the top just to verify that I could do that with this pattern. I'm going to use that for the hems for the towels, but it's not part of the pattern as shown in the Strickler book. So the first part I'm showing you here with these two sections are the way it appears in the Strickler book, where I'm using navy blue as the dark color and white as the light color. And when you look at this, even in this software, you really can't see the effect of color. It's very much like it is in the book. But let's page down a little bit where I've added color. I'll make this just a little teeny smaller so you can see. Now you can get a much better idea of what's going to happen with this pattern when I used colored weft thread. And it doesn't have to be the red and blue that I'm doing here. In fact, I know it's going to be different than that, but they're just giving me an idea of what this pattern looks like in this Tempo Weave software when using different colors in the weft instead of just plain white. So that's a look at the pattern as I drew it out, copied it from the Strickler book into Tempo Weave so I could do my planning. Okay, now let's take a look at the threading of the heddles. I'm hoping these heddles show up decently. This is real simple. The threading pattern on this is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's go the first one. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 for a while, and then you go 5, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 8. So my intention with this, I said I'm doing 24 threads per inch, and I'm hoping to make the blocks about 2 inches square. So that means 48 threads per block of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we go into another 2 inches of 48 threads that will be 5, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 8 threading. So, and you always change blocks in this pattern on the dark thread. Now I've made a change to the Strickler book. In the pattern in the book, they use 6 dark threads in between the light for the transition between 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8. I've changed that. Instead of 6 threads of dark, I'm using 8. And then I'm going to do 40 threads of light or white for my main part of the block that will be the pattern. And this is described as a false damask pattern. Let's comb this out and we'll just start grabbing a couple of threads here. I'm not going to keep you bored to death watching this part of it for too long, but you can see I'm slowly threading these heddles. That's a 5, 6, and a 7, and an 8. I got to do a bunch more of those, but I'm not going to bore you to death with just watching me thread heddles. So more later when I get a little bit farther on with this project. Okay, weaving friends, I have finished all of the threading of the heddles, and now I am just slaying the reed, doing this 2 threads per dent. And I'm almost halfway across the reed so far, but not quite. This method of having the reed laying flat like this, I switched to doing it this way a little bit less than a year ago, I think it was. I'd always done it with the reed standing up, and I don't know why I never thought to do it this way before, but it is significantly easier. So I can highly recommend doing this. I don't know, can you see right here I've got a little C-clamp that's holding the reed in place. And you can't see it, but there's another one over on that side, right about there. So those 2 C-clamps just hold the reed onto the bottom half of the beater, and then I can just pull the threads out forward like this, reach up from underneath and grab them and pull them down. It's a significant improvement because I can see much better what I'm doing. And there we are. In just the minute or two that I've been talking to you and doing this, I have slayed 1 more inch worth of threads. I'm just tying a quick knot in the end, and that's the setting up of the slaying the reed. Well, YouTubers, here I am laying on the floor under the loom, almost under the loom, and starting to reach under it, doing my least favorite part of weaving, and that is doing the tie-up. From my previous project, which was those hot pads, that was only a 4-shaft pattern, but I had used, I think, 10 treadles. This is an 8-shaft pattern, and I need at least 8 treadles, but I'm going to tie up 10 so I'll have a tabby as well, and that means a lot of extra Texol cords that have to be put onto these upper and lower lambs on this thing. And the one thing I really dislike about the Louette spring loom is getting down here on the floor doing this. I know I've seen other people suggest that I should raise the loom up on boxes of some sort or crates and lift it up and work with it that way. I still don't feel comfortable with it doing that, so this is just the most difficult part. Anyways, here's where I am. I've got, let's see, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm working on number 7, so I've got 3 more to go. But this is the part I like the least. It's hard on my shoulders. It's hard to work up under here. And yet it has to be done. Weaving on this loom is very easy. It's fun. I like it. The only thing I really, really don't like is this tie-up. It's a pain, literally. For me, mostly in my shoulders, but still, it's a real pain to get down here and do this. I'm finally done with tying up the treadles. As I just said, that's the job I hate the most about setting this thing up. But it's got to be done, you know, I mean, and the thing is, because this is a countermarch loom, you got to tie up both the lambs that are going up and the ones that are going down. So it's more than you would have on, say, a jack style loom. But anyways, that job is now done. And as you can see now, I am lashing the warp that has been put through the reed onto the front apron rod, whatever you want to call it, tie-on rod. Anyways, whatever it's called, and I can't remember the name. But I'm lashing onto the front. And I've been told in previous videos that I should be using like a net making needle for holding this stuff. But I'm still doing it the old-fashioned lashing way. Anyways, this will, as soon as I get this done, I can just adjust the tension a little bit, which, you know, is just a case of moving some of these strings a little bit to make them all come out to even tension. And I'll be ready to start weaving. But I think the video has probably gotten long enough, as I've done various parts of it. I haven't started editing yet, so I don't know exactly how long this video is. But in any case, it's long enough, I think. So, and this will just about be the end of the actual setup, and then in my next video I'll actually start doing some weaving. So that's enough for this time. If you're a subscriber to my channel, hey, I really do appreciate the fact that you like my videos enough to want to subscribe. Thanks a million. If you're not a subscriber but you like this type of weaving content, I'd appreciate if you'd subscribe. But you've heard a million other YouTubers all say that too, so it's up to you. Do what you think is best, although I do appreciate subscriptions, likes, comments, all of those neat things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's it for this time around on YouTube. I will catch you the next time on YouTube, whenever it is, probably in a couple of weeks by the time I get to actually doing the weaving on this and can finish these things. So, until the next time, bye-bye.